What is going on, TRC fans? It is your boy Charles out here in Colorado. We have this beautiful scenery behind us and this beautiful 1993 Mazda RX-7. But while this car looks absolutely stunning, this car actually has a crazy unique engine swap. So let's take a deep dive and meet Tyler, the owner of this build. Tyler, what's going on, brother?
How's it going, man?
Nah, I can't complain, especially with this car sitting in front of me.
Yeah,
So what can you tell me about this absolute beauty of a car?
Yeah, I appreciate it. So this is a 93 RX7. It's my ultimate dream car. Always wanted one. Never quite been able to afford one, but I picked this guy up about 2 years ago. I've got it as a rolling shell. So no motor, no transmission, no drivetrain, and decided to do something a little different with it, and decided to do a K24 swap to it. Definitely come a long way.
Very nice. You mind if we take a peek at that real quick?
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah. Man, dude, it honestly, it looks right at home.
Yep, yep. Yeah, we did a lot of work to try to keep it as true to the car as the previous motor. We had to recess the firewall about 2 inches to make sure that it sat back behind the front steering rack. So we did a custom subframe setup with a custom oil pan, custom mounts, to be able to accommodate it sitting far enough back. Also had to do an electric steering rack from a Prius, so drives like a Prius now.
That's crazy.
But still a lot of fun. Yeah, car feels like a little go-kart.
Does this technically qualify as mid-engine?
Technically, I think the term would be mid-front engine.
Mid-front engine,
That's
okay.
what we call it. Still front engine car, but it does sit, the majority of the weight is back behind the front axles, so I think that's what makes it a mid-front engine car.
Okay.
And that's what we tried to do. So
Very nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, like I said, it looks right at home, and then you have the V-mount setup up here, so
Yep.
what can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so all the fabrication was done by John Vigil up at VI Engineered. He did a great job. I actually just had it in pretty recently for the titanium work. It also has a custom radiator setup with ducting built in. If you look under the bumper, you can kind of see where all the air travels up, and it has a side duct to the air intake as well. So all that was done by John. He's a mastermind at this kind of stuff. So
Yeah, it looks insane. I mean, just feeding the air up into there and making sure that it hits the radiator and you know, creating optimal cooling. That's all you can ask for on one of these things.
Yep, temps have been great on this car. It's kind of one of the best things about it thus far. So can't complain about any of that.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, so for fueling on this car, we're running a radium fuel rail. We got 13cc IDX injectors. We have a Walbro 450.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of people on these K-Series are using stock everything and they're just making it work.
Yep, yeah. You really don't have to do a whole ton to these. We're running stock motor, so there's really not a ton that we need to do to run the power that we're running, because we're currently making between 450 and 500 wheel up at altitude. So
that ain't bad. What size turbo's pushing you to that power?
It's a Zona X2C.
Okay.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yeah.
What sort of PSI are you pushing through that?
So we have 2 different maps, one at 9, one at 12. We're currently on the 9 PSI map.
Okay, very nice.
It seems to like it better. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah.
Obviously, something like this will need some sort of like custom transmission setup, custom drive line. So what did you do there?
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun to figure out. But we have a CD009, brand new from Nissan. That usually comes in a 350Z. And in order to make it fit, we had to use a Serial 9 shifter relocation kit, which sits on the top. And we got that all dialed in, so it shifts nice and very short throw. And then going further back, we have a aluminum drive shaft with a Ford 8.8 rear end. And we also have a TrueTrack LSD inside the rear diff, custom axles, on the rear, custom rear subframe, which I think we got from Ronin.
Okay.
Yep.
Very nice. Very nice. And then for engine management, what are you guys running?
Yeah, so we're all Haltech all the way. So they helped out a lot with this build, and we run a Haltech 1500 Elite, yeah.
That's pretty serious.
Yeah, not too bad.
That's pretty cool. And then wiring, anything special or?
Custom harness, that was all done by Steve Sampier at Divulge. He did a great job, tucked the harness, made it look really nice. And then also IC7 dash from Haltech.
Very nice.
Works pretty well. So.
Very nice.
Yeah.
That's gotta be sick. You mind if we take a look at that and take a peek at the interior?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, the car itself is just the color, everything about like the wheels. I mean, look at these Graham lights, dude. Like these are sick. You got the freaking Willwood brakes. You got the big disc. I mean, what are those, 14-inch rotors?
Yep.
That's crazy, dude.
Yep, the two-piece floating. We kind of went a little overkill on the brake setup just to be safe.
Yeah, and honestly, like the car's so light, you really don't need that much power.
You don't, and that's the biggest thing. Nowadays, everyone thinks you need 1,000 horsepower on a car, but on a chassis like this, it just seems overkill. I've had previous builds. I had a Mark IV Supra that made close to that 1,000 mark, and I think on this chassis, it just wouldn't like it. It seems right at home around the 450 mark. And it's super quick without blowing the tires off the rear end.
What color is this?
So this is actually a wrap from a Nazatech. I hope I'm saying that correct, but it's a copper orange color.
Dude, so fire. It reminds me of that burnt BMW color.
Yep, it does. And it looks great in the sunlight. And you know, in different types of lighting, it almost takes on a different color, darker, brighter, but it looks great out here in the sun. So the interior is a work in progress. We still have some work to do in here, but we just got it up and running recently. I kind of added some bits and pieces around to make it feel like a complete car. I still wanted the street car feel. We have the IC7 dash that I mentioned earlier. Did a Pioneer doubled in radio. And yeah, nothing too crazy. I got the serial 999 shifter relocation with a Tomei shifter knob.
Nice.
But yeah, it's pretty stock for the most part. I wanted to have a stock look. So with the outside of the car, I wanted to do kind of a stock look while still adding like a little bit of a flair to it.
Yeah.
So we did some carbon fiber side vents, custom front lights, bumper lights that were made by AZ RX7, I think is his name. He does some great stuff. And then the tail lights I actually did myself.
Really?
Yeah, just DIY'd
Those look
it.
sick.
Yeah, they turned out good. But yeah, nothing too crazy, kind of like OEM plus, like that JDM look. So,
Definitely, man, definitely. Well, I'll tell you what, I can't wait to hear this thing start up, and I can't wait to ride in this thing. So you mind if we hear it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hell yeah, let's do that, man. You know, I hate to say it, but it sounds at home.
Yep, yeah, it almost sounds stock, right?
Honestly, like it's quiet, nice and tame. But then I'm sure when you get on it a little bit, it might sound a little bit better.
Yep.
I can't wait to go for a ride in this thing. I mean, it's super lightweight, decently good horsepower, and I feel like this is just like a great canyon carver. So let's just see how this thing does. All right, guys, so before we go on this ride along, Tyler wanted to bring us over to his buddy's shop where we're putting the car on the lift to get a better look at that CD09 plus that 8.8 rear end. All right, so we got the car up in the air, and tell me what I'm looking at here. So we got the Ford 8.8 rear end, right?
Yep, and we got the custom rear subframe that we had to modify to fit, and we used the Ronin Speed Kit, like I said earlier. And the rear axles are part Mazda, part Ford, so they're custom.
That's pretty cool.
Yep, and
that's sick.
We got the titanium axle back, Greddy exhaust. Aluminum drive shaft up to the CD009. We've got that brand new from Nissan.
That looks brand new. That's nice, dude. Wow.
Yep, money. And then we got the custom front subframe with the custom oil pan.
Okay, very nice.
Yep.
You know, a little wastegate dump tube right there. I can't wait to hear that screaming under my seat, man.
Yeah, man.
That's gonna be loud.
And then we got the front air ducting. You can kind of see it better.
Oh yeah, let's look at that.
With the radiator.
Oh, look at that. That's really sick. That V-mount underneath, you guys can see how the air will go up into there, and then it'll end up going up to the intercooler on the top.
Yep.
That's really, really sick, man.
Yeah.
You can also see the back side of the rotors here. I mean, this car is just really, really clean, man.
Yep. Yeah, it's a good example. It's hard to find clean chassis nowadays for the FDs, but this one is in pretty good shape. So
yeah, I like it. Well, it definitely will have to go for a ride along in this thing now. So let's go hit it, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hell yeah. All right, guys, so we're in the K-Series RX7. I love that Haltech dash right there, dude. That is a gorgeous dash.
It makes a big difference, especially we were trying to fiddle with the factory cluster to get it to work, and it just didn't have all the stuff that we wanted to see. And yeah, it looks great. It works great. So.
Oh yeah, and then one other like small little detail that I love.
Yep.
The Mazda logo in the middle of the LZ MFG steering wheel.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's sick, dude.
Little custom edition.
I like that. And then the stitching on this too matches the whole car. Like it just flows.
Yep.
And it's great. I love it. Let's see how this thing does, man.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Whoa! That is nice, usable power.
Yep.
That power band too, very, very linear.
It's not too much.
Yeah.
It feels good for the chassis.
Oh, 100%. And this thing feels light. It feels planted driving around. It feels like it's, you know, it's a solid car.
Yeah, it's more of a track car, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, the power delivery is so good.
Pretty dialed in now. Trying to get the suspension a little bit dialed. We're running BC coilovers on it, and they get a little stiff on the highway and stuff, but for these side roads, it feels perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
And then honestly, it's not a rough ride. It feels great. Like, honestly, I could daily this thing.
Yeah. If you wanted to, if there was no snow out, you could do it.
Oh yeah.
Make it happen.
Oh, dude, this car is a riot. I don't know if any of y'all feel the same way, but a K-Series feels at home here.
It does.
It does. This is like, I know I did a feature of a K-Series swapped 65 Mustang. That thing oddly felt at home in there too. Like, I feel like the K-Series is just a swap that just works in everything. You could put it in literally anything and it would just be great.
The best part about the K-Swap is it's getting a lot more affordable.
It is.
And as people figure out how to swap it in each chassis, I'm hoping there's more universal swap kits for different chassis.
Oh yeah.
Because that was the biggest struggle we ran into with FD is there's just not enough information online, so we kind of had to shoot from the hip a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as people R&D stuff, it'll be a much more swapped engine into a lot of chassis because it's so affordable. It's hard not to do it.
Dude, this thing is a certified ripper. It feels so planted around those corners. Yeah. It's not even funny. It's so good. Do you know how like the K-Series is in terms of weight versus a Rotary? Is it pretty similar?
Yeah, so it is pretty similar. I think the Rotary, so if you were to just take the bare block versus the keg, I think they're pretty similar in weight. I think the K-Series is a little bit heavier, but all said and done, I mean, you're going to be down to just nickel and diamond, and it's basically the same weight. So.
Yeah, and then you have, you know, readily available parts, and any, you know, go to AutoZone and say, hey man, I need a part for this. They have it, instead of, you know, going on a hunt for it. So, did you build the car?
So I did a portion of it, but the bulk of the work was done by a shop in Arvada called Nick Speed Racing.
Okay.
By a gentleman named Nick Bianco. He did all the like custom work to get the swap to work right. He did the firewall modification, pretty much the whole swap. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's sick. How many hours do you think are in this build?
I don't know. He was working on it for months, so a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of man hours for sure.
Honestly, I'm just super happy to be able to actually see this car. I saw your Supra before, you know, a couple years ago. You know, just at some local car shows, and you've got really good taste in building cars. And you know, that purple on that Supra was great. The orange on this is awesome. And you know, I love the style that you have and the way that you build cars, man. So
no, I appreciate that. You know, we really try to do something that's a little bit different, a little bit unique, while still trying to stay true to the car itself. And so far, this is by far my favorite build. We did go a little extreme on this one, but I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Very nice.
Yeah,
dude. Thank you so much for the ride along. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, this has been sick. So, if you guys like this car, like this kind of build, follow Tyler right here, T3 Auto on Instagram, right?
T3_auto.
T3_auto, and yeah, check that out. Shout out to Haltech for supporting this build. Anything else you want to say?
No, man. Just thanks for coming along, and yes, it's been super fun. Really appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking out the video, guys. We'll see you next time.